Man, how are you guys doing? No, seriously, how are you doing? I know a lot of you started university this week or might be starting next week, and then us adults, we got to go back to work. You know how it is. And we are on our Town Hall 16 Fix That Rush base. This is actually our third week in episode 7, and it is more focused around the expectation versus reality of both hero levels as well as the hero equipment. So I'm gonna actually rag on a couple of my own videos, because when we make dedicated tutorials, we come into it with like this one perspective on how things could be versus like some practices that could help you, i.e. the use of a hero potion or focusing in on upgrading one piece of equipment at a time. That way you get to the maximum level faster. That's like the ideal situation. So let's take a look at this base. We did finish up our event. The anime clash event has been maxed out for like a couple days now. I just haven't recorded, you know, like you procrastinate. I've been procrastinating a little bit. So we've already claimed like all of the bonus track and the main rewards track. We got 3,900 medals to spend. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into the trader, and we're gonna go ahead and claim the magic mirror, because first of all, it's free. And second of all, I've been hearing that it's fully OP or totally OP. But how would I know? I don't even have it maxed out. And I know a lot of you guys out there don't either, but it sure is fun to watch when other people have it maxed out and they're crushing bases, huh? So 3,100 of the medals, we're gonna go ahead and claim that. And that's gonna leave us with 800 of the medals to spend. Now, this is where the dilemma starts regarding both the hero levels as well as the hero equipment. Let me show you this. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into our attack log. And we've been using a army that's mostly the mechas, and then we added some sneaky goblins because for whatever reason it just seemed like every time we went in with just mass mecha, we were going through the base, we were clearing the defenses, and then all of the resources got left behind. And I don't always have hero potions available, and we'll talk about that here in a moment when we reference that video that I was talking about a second ago. But as you can see, the mechas get through the base and they try to take down a bunch of defenses. They get wiped out because of the Archer Queen and the Royal Champion, but then we have to use the sneaky goblins to try to pick up the resources. So yes, we did make it up into Champions League by using this army actually relatively fast, which also means that we unlocked more gems. All right, so we did complete a couple of achievements here with Gold Grab and Elixir Escapade. That's 20 gems. I actually claimed the other 20 gems earlier by mistake. And then we also did Clan War Wealth. That's 100 gems right there. And the biggest one here was getting to Champions League and unlocking the League All-Star. Although I really wish that they would add more tiers to this one, because like, what's the point in going to Titans League and Legends League? Obviously, other than the loot bonus and the more ore that you get up there, but there's no additional gems is my point here. That would be great if they would add like something, maybe like 5,000 gems for making the Legends League. I think that would be really cool. Although some of you will argue that. I digress. All right, so we got 20, 10, 200 for taking down Inferno Towers, and then I believe there was one down here for the builder base where we destroyed 100 builder halls, and we get 30 gems for that. So that will be all of our gems. That's going to bring us up to 2,389 gems for free, basically. So we're going to hold on to those, because the only other equipment that's in the gem section would be Rocket Spear, which is really not that great. I mean, I'm sorry if you think it is, but it's really not that awesome. And then you also have the Fireball. Fireball is pretty cool, but I'm going to hold off on that for now, because I feel like with the armies that I'm targeting, I believe that I would rather upgrade like Eternal Tome, Healing Tome, and Rage Gem. But that's, you know, another time, because as we get into our blacksmith, you're going to notice that we did get our Warden up to level 9 on the Eternal Tome. And I said the other day in a previous video that I wanted to get it up to level 10. Well, here's the problem. When we go to upgrade it, we cannot upgrade it because we need a level 3 blacksmith. So it's that, you know, that prioritization of upgrading buildings, and I'm not even close to getting to the blacksmith. So we're kind of stuck here for a moment until we level it up. it's just one of those things. So we did have some resources that we got from the event in the shiny ore, the glowy ore, and obviously we don't have any starry ore because I've been unable to war this account. I mean, the only army that I have is sneaky goblins. Sure, I could go in and just take down town halls, but I've been trying to increase the size of my army with the army camps. So what are we going to upgrade here is the question. Where's the best use of our ore? And I said in that video for the hero equipment upgrade, you know, like focus on epic equipments. Well, now we have so many epic equipments that is ridiculous. And which one do you focus on is the real question, you know? So we're going to go ahead and replace the invisibility vial with the magic mirror. And we already got 5 levels on the giant gauntlet. Let's see if we can take it up a little higher before we run into the issue of needing the starry ore. So we're going to get up to level 7. Level 8, and that's where we're going to need the starry ore. So let's go ahead and grab some starry ore with the additional resources that we had available. I know that some of you might not agree with this because it's literally only 10 starry ore for 320 of those metals, which is just absolutely ridiculous, but we should be able to grab 2 of those, and now we have 20 starry ore until we start doing some clan wars with this account. So let's go ahead and get back into the blacksmith. There we go. And we're going to be able to upgrade the giant gauntlet to level 9, level 10. Oh my gosh, this thing's still going. I'm a little surprised actually. Yeah, and then we're going to run into the problem where we run out of shiny and starry ore. So we took the giant gauntlet up to level 11. That's interesting. I need to see what level that actually caps out at for building level 1. That's interesting. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. We do have a little bit of resources left here, but we're going to save it. And that brings us into the expectation versus reality of hero levels and the hero equipment. So there's a video that I made about, I think it was about 8 or 9 months ago. It was called Proof Heroes Are Not Worth Upgrading. Now, when I made that video, I was actually kind of going off of Reddit and what a lot of players were saying on there when it came to like the comparison between hero equipment versus the levels of the heroes. So when you upgrade a hero, only a little bit of stats go up each time you upgrade, and normally the price is relatively high once you get into the higher levels of the hero itself. So a lot of players out there are kind of debating the fact of whether it's worth upgrading the heroes versus the hero equipment. Now, summarizing the video really fast, I did 2 experiments with level 20 heroes and max level heroes for Town Hall 13. Both of those attacks had maxed out equipment, and we had 3 stars in both cases. So it just kind of showed us that the hero equipment at a max level definitely assists the heroes be better even when they are at lower levels. Well, there's an issue here. The biggest issue here is I didn't think about rush-based players when I made that video, because here I am on a new account with level 4, 5, 5, and 3 on the heroes. And then you just saw my hero equipment a moment ago. All of it's like level 1. So in theory, you would think, well, if I just pop a hero potion, they're going to be better. Well, here's the problem with that. Even though we've been doing raid weekend every week and we've been claiming the medals to spend, we only got 1758 on the raid medals, and there's only 3 hero potions available per week. It's Monday, so they should recycle tomorrow, and we'll have 3 more available. Well, you know, there's only 3 of them, and they all last 1 hour each, you know, and you don't have a pause button. So it's kind of pointless to use hero potions to farm with unless you plan on being online for an entire hour. Or if you're using hero potions for clan war attacks, you know, you get 2 attacks in a regular clan war. That's 6 minutes each, if you will. And in a way, you're kind of wasting hero potions because you can't pause them or stop them and use them again later on. I know that would be way too OP to some of you, but I think that the ability to pause would be a great option in the game for both hero potions, power potions, and training potions. But that's a separate video in itself. I'm getting way off topic here. But the point here is that we do not have an endless supply of hero potions. So that's where we really need to kind of focus in on hero levels very, very soon. So let's go ahead and jump into our progress base. And let me show you what's been done in the last couple of days since you've seen the account. We used 2 books, 1 book of building and 1 book of everything on elixir storages. I know. Not everybody's going to agree with that option or that thought process, but when you look at the price, even with the 20% boost activated, it's still an 8-day, 12-hour upgrade time. So I thought that the books were a great option to use to finish that off, and I think I might actually have a book to do one more. Do we have one? Oh, we do. so if you don't like this, here's your moment to be triggered. Oh no, never mind. I take that back. I take that back. We're not going to spend any gems because we need to use the Goblin Builder elsewhere. We'll do that here in a moment. So we started upgrading the Dark Elixir storage. It's now level 7, going up to level 8. Our capacity there is 240,000 Dark Elixir, and we went ahead and upgraded this gold storage, and this one's currently in process to be the equivalent of all Town Hall 15 level storages. So our capacity will increase just a little bit, and we're actually really close to being done with storages. Probably another 2 weeks because we don't have a lot of books available to finish those, and they are lengthier upgrade times. Now, you might be questioning, why am I so focused on storages? Well, what if we start getting into this rhythm of upgrading things, and then we get to a point where we need to stop what we're doing to upgrade a stupid storage? Well, that's why I'm just suffering through it and not getting them out now. If I get them done now, I don't have to worry about them later, and we can just upgrade and upgrade and upgrade until our heart's content. So the rest of our builders has been focused in on the army camps. We got these 3 going to level 11, which means that we have one more level as of the creation date of this video, one more level to go. The army camps max at level 12. So that's actually putting a lot of emphasis in increasing the size of our army and really kind of prepping up for when we have all of our heroes down for upgrade, because as of right this moment, Clash of Clans has still not allowed us to use heroes when they're under upgrade. They did do that one month in July, but I don't know if they're going to actually make that a thing. I don't like the fact that they teased us with that. It would be nice if they would just call it and make it happen, but we'll see what happens in the future. So once we get done with army camps, there's a couple of buildings that we need to focus on next. We got the storages we're trying to wrap up. We also need to add a few more levels to the laboratory, which is going to take more time, and we should be done with that probably by the end of next month. And then we also need to upgrade our clan castle, because right now it's level 2 and all I can request is 15 housing space, which is a total joke. We can't request multiple spells. We can't request any siege machines, and it's kind of useless at this point. I don't even request, to be honest with you. So we need to increase the level of the clan castle. That's one builder. And then I think we might actually shift some of our builders to the 4 heroes at once to start upgrading those, because right now they are just absolute garbage. As we scroll through a lot of these attacks in the last day and into yesterday, we've got a lot of 2 stars, and we also have a lot of 1 stars because the heroes get on the base and they get absolutely wrecked. The combination of their low level as well as their low equipment level, they're basically placeholders and they're completely useless in battle until we get them upgraded. So I need to start shifting some attention that way. That way we start getting some levels there, because we don't always have hero potions. And then a couple of other upgrades that we were able to do in the last week or so was we maxed out the goblin and the wall breaker for this laboratory level at level 8 and then level 9, and then the barbarian is also level 9. And then we also kind of focused in on the spells. We did max out the haste spell. We got the invisibility spell up to level 3, and then the next upgrade is to level 4 to max it out. It's going to cost us 7.2 million elixir and a 7-day 14-hour upgrade time. So we will be using a book of spells to finish up that spell. So right now we currently have the jump spell down for upgrade, and we're going to try to get that to the highest level as well. And that'll really kind of conclude our sneaky goblin army until we upgrade the laboratory again to increase those troops levels once more. If I remember correctly, I think the goblin goes to level 9 or 10, and then the wall breaker goes to level 11, I think. I don't recall all the numbers right off the top of my head. We'll have to look. Maybe the editor will be nice enough to post in some factual data for us when I say those numbers, huh? All right, so there's a couple of buildings that you might have noticed that we are upgrading, and it doesn't make any sense unless you are targeting the 6th builder or Bob. But we did upgrade our cannon to level 7 to do the gear up, and then we also upgraded the archer tower to level 10 to do the gear up, but we are waiting on the additional level for the the archer tower on the builder base before we can do that. So we are using our goblin builder on these lower level defensive upgrades because it is relatively cheap. So we're gonna go ahead and start working on a mortar, because the third building that needs to be geared up would be a mortar or multi-mortar in the future. I'm really not gonna focus in on the builder base too much because that's a separate video in itself, like I said the other day. So let's go ahead and finish up with the expectation versus the reality of the heroes. I know that I made a video that said do not upgrade heroes or you don't need to, and there is some factual information and great tips in that video regarding the use of hero potions and stuff, but the fact of the matter is that you don't always have hero potions available. So whenever you have a chance or you have the resources, you really should invest resources on upgrading those heroes if you're not doing so. I know that doesn't apply to everybody. Also, when it comes to the hero equipment, in the video new hero equipment guide, I gave a little bit of a prioritization regarding what hero equipment to focus on, and I said in that video one of the things that stood out to me was focus on upgrading one piece of equipment at a time. Well, if you're like me on a rush base account, that does not apply, because when I made that video I was thinking from the perspective of the free-to-play maxer, meaning you're going to upgrade each building to the level equivalent to your town hall level. That does not apply here because we are a town hall 16 with a level 1 blacksmith. So obviously the blacksmith needs to be incorporated into my upgrade priorities a little bit sooner. That way we can add levels to these equipment, but for the time being I would focus my efforts on upgrading pieces of equipment that we know we're going to use in the future. So like I did with the Eternal Tome, I know that I'm more than likely going to use that, and the same thing applies to the Barbarian King's Giant Gauntlet. I more than likely will continue to use that, because the reality is when it comes to Clash of Clans is that this game requires a ton of patience, and there are some shortcomings if you're not spending money. So even as a gold pass buyer, we still are really focused on speeding up the process or the progress of upgrading our village, but we're not taking advantage of all those special offers that we get when it comes to ore. So we need to prioritize and focus in on pieces of equipment that we will use in the future and just kind of ignore the rest.